All right, let's talk about Nigerian real estates. We're going to focus on one single document that, and I'm not kidding, can absolutely make or break your entire multi-million dollar investment. If you're even thinking about property in Nigeria, you need to hear this.
Just think about that for a second. You've got the perfect plot of land, the funding is all lined up, the blueprints look incredible, but what if one piece of paper you didn't know about could bring the whole thing crashing down? This isn't just a scary story, it is a very, very real risk for anyone who goes in unprepared.
So, what is this high stakes document? It's called an Environmental Impact Assessment, or EIA for short. Now, I know that sounds super technical, maybe even a little boring, but trust me, it is probably the single biggest hurdle you have to clear before you can even think about construction. So let's unpack it. At its heart, an EIA is all about looking before you leap. It's a formal, legally required process to figure out exactly how your project is going to affect the world around it. We're talking everything from the environment to the local community and its economy, and you have to do it before a single shovel hits the ground. It's all about smart planning, not damage control. And get this, the scope is huge. An EIA isn't just about counting trees or protecting wildlife, though that's part of it. It's a complete 360-degree review. Will your project mess with the local water supply? How will it impact the air people breathe? And crucially, what about the people already living there? How does this affect their homes, their jobs, their way of life? It forces you to think about the total footprint of your investment. Okay, so you might be thinking, wow, that sounds like a whole lot of red tape. Maybe I can just, skip it? Well, let me tell you, that's an idea that could lead you straight into a financial and legal nightmare. And here's why. This isn't some new recommendation or a friendly guideline. The EIA has been federal law in Nigeria since 1992. It's been around for decades, and it's enforced by the Federal Ministry of Environment. They take this very, very seriously. Just let that sink in for a moment. Demolition of completed structures. The law is crystal clear on this. If you build without getting that EIA approval first, the government can do more than just fine you or shut down your site. They have the legal authority to order you to tear down a building you've already finished. Poof, your entire investment just gone.
So really, as an investor, you're standing at a fork in the road. Down one path, you have compliance. That gets you regulatory approval, it opens the door to financing from banks, and it leads to a successful, profitable project. Down the other path, stop work orders, huge fines, a damaged reputation, and always looking over your shoulder for that demolition order. The choice is, well, it's pretty obvious, isn't it?
Okay, so we've laid out the risks, and they are significant. So how do you get it right? Well, the good news is this isn't a mystery. There's a clear, structured process you can follow that builds a solid path toward a fully approved and totally secure investment.
It really boils down to these 5 key steps. First, and this is non-negotiable, you hire certified experts who know these regulations inside and out. They're the ones who do the real groundwork, the site analysis, and then they prepare that super detailed report. After you submit it, you work towards getting that official approval certificate. And remember, it doesn't end there. Compliance is an ongoing thing, so monitoring during and after construction is absolutely key.
And if there is one golden rule in this whole game, this is it. That EIA report is everything. It's your case, your evidence. The regulators who are deciding the fate of your project, they're basing their decision almost entirely on how good, how complete, and how accurate that document is. In this process, being a perfectionist is your greatest asset. Now, this is my favorite part of the whole story. Because doing the EIA right isn't just about dodging bullets and avoiding penalties. If you're smart about it, you can actually flip this entire thing on its head and turn a regulatory chore into a massive competitive advantage. Just look at what happens when you're compliant. Your project becomes so much more attractive. Most banks and major financial institutions won't even look at you for a construction loan unless you have an approved EIA, period. It also makes your property way more marketable, and in the long run, it actually boosts its value. It's a direct line from doing things right to making more money. So let's just pull this all together. A well-done EIA shows partners and lenders that you are a serious professional operator. It puts a protective shield around your investment, guarding it from legal and financial risks. And in today's world, it's a magnet for that growing crowd of buyers and tenants who actually care about sustainability. You're not just ticking a box. You are building a stronger, safer, and ultimately more valuable asset. So I'll leave you with this.
When you really look at the catastrophic risks of ignoring it on one hand and the incredible strategic advantages of embracing it on the other, the question kind of answers itself, doesn't it? In Nigerian real estate, that environmental impact assessment isn't just a cost of doing business. It might just be the most valuable asset you have.